Hello and welcome to the OCVarsity Gridiron Show Finals Edition. We are here at the Grand in Long Beach for the CIF Southern Section Luncheon. Dan Albano to my left, Steve Frider to my right. I have Jonathan Khamis, of course. I almost forgot my name, Steve. That's pretty bad when you're going on 3 hours of sleep.
You know, that's what happens when you have little kids, huh?
He sure does. All right, guys, Division I, Mater Dei versus St. John Bosco. This is the third consecutive year that these two heavyweights meet in the CIF Division I championship game. Last year, Mater Dei took it all. This year, Bosco beat Mater Dei in a league matchup. We both talked to Coach Rollinson, guys, and we also talked to Coach Negro. We'll get to those interviews in a sec. But Dan, what's your takeaway? Does Bosco go undefeated and beat Mater Dei?
You know, at the beginning of the playoffs, I picked St. John Bosco, so I'm not going to change on that. But I think Mater Dei is going to play a lot better in this game. I think it's going to be, it's a field goal type game or less. You know, and Bosco is undefeated, and they played the perfect game last time there at Santa Ana Stadium. And I don't think they can play that well again. I think Mater Dei is improved since that game. They got a wake-up call in that game, and I think they're going to play a lot better, especially defensively. They've been putting up a lot better numbers.
All right, Steve, we'll go to you. So what can we expect going into this one?
Well, I think Bosco looks like a flawless football team to me. I see no weaknesses in this team. I think one area that probably doesn't get a lot of ink is their offensive line because they don't have that, big Division I name that they've had there in the past. But guys, their O-line has been fine. They gave him DJ Ugalele a lot of time to throw. I like Halani, the running back. He's kind of an unknown guy. But when he gets into the secondary, he's trouble. I think Bosco's going to win this game again. They just look so gosh darn good.
All right, we talked to head coach Bruce Rollinson and Jason Negro earlier. Here's what they had to say.
You know, we're hoping to play a lot better than we did the first time around. And, we're looking forward to a good week of practice and then, turn it loose Friday night.
A little redemption for us, obviously, having them who are current, CIF Division I champions, and for us to have an opportunity to try to win this game and to reclaim that title that we got back in 16 is something that's motivating factor for us and for our kids and our entire program. And our school community really wants it, so we're going to do our best effort.
All right, we'll go to Division IV now, guys, where it's Corona Del Mar. They are 11-1-1 at Grace Brethren, 11-2. This will be Saturday night, 7 p.m. Do we have a site, Dan?
Yeah, it's going to be at Royal High School in Simi Valley.
Okay, I've never been there, but I hear it's nice. All right, CDM beat CDM won 49-17 in the semis. Garber's just doing what Garber's does, guys. Another 6 touchdowns for this kid. He's absolutely incredible. This is CDM's first championship appearance since 2016. Grace Brethren stands in their way. The Sea Kings are in it. Dan, what do you think?
Well, Coach Dan O'Shea said Friday night that Grace Brethren was a monster of a task, and they have a lot of size. He says that Grace Brethren is bigger than Jay Sarah, who that's the last loss for CDM was in that season opening game at Jay Sarah, and the Sea Kings are unbeaten since then. I think the Sea Kings can win this because, Grace Brethren might be huge, and they got a good running back for sure. And they have some good playoff experience, but how do you stop that combination of Ethan Garbers, who has now 54 touchdowns? He's only a junior. He's headed to the Pac-12 if he decides to go there. Okay. And then John Humphreys, who's got 28 touchdowns receptions, which is an OC single season record and growing. And there's other receivers and other offensive linemen. They got a lot of firepower, so I think they can win a high scoring game.
Grace Brethren last year, guys, they won CIF. They made it all the way to the state championship game, but they fell in that state title game. Steve, CDM, Grace Brethren.
Yeah, I like Corona Del Mar too. And one of the things they've got going for them is a throwing team. You can play comeback football. So if they've got only 5 minutes to go and they're down by a couple touchdowns, Corona Del Mar can come back in a game like that. That passing game gives them a huge advantage. So I like the Sea Kings as well.
We go to Division IX, where it's San Gorgonio. That's an Italian name, right, Steve?
No, es español, señor.
Well, we'll edit that out in post. Or maybe not. 10-3, San Gorgonio. They are at Brea Olinda, 8-5. Great story, guys, that Brea made it all the way to the CIF championship game, even with 5 losses. Awesome news for them. Brea beat North Torrance last week, 28-19, and this is their first championship appearance since 2015, where they lost to Canyon. Brea, how do you like them Wildcats?
I like them a lot. They're an interesting team because they're not that big. And the 3 guys that they had to the luncheon in here, Weiss, Tango, and Jacob Moon, the quarterback, little guys. But they play like like lions, and they're just and they love that we're little guys. People, are going to overlook us. We finished second in our league. They love all that stuff. They love that underdog role, and they're riding it. And I think they've got a good chance to win this game because they're just playing with confidence like heck. But San Gorgonio really worked Garden Grove last week. So San Gorgonio is a pretty tough team. I like Brea's spirit and all that, but that spirit's going to have to really be on fire for them to win that game.
Finally, our last school we're going to talk about here in Division 11, guys, it is Peninsula. They are at Western, who is 11-2. This is Friday night, 7 p.m., like I said, at Western. What did Western do last week? They won a game with a game-winning safety, guys, with 1:34 remaining. This is Western's first CIF championship appearance since 2004. Dan, the Western Pioneers, this is really exciting that they're back in it, and you could sense with all the coaches and the players that they are stoked for this matchup.
Yeah, great energy. What a turnaround that Dan Davidson has accomplished in his 5th season at Western. And I just heard him say in moments ago that they have a ton of players back next year, including the Savage brothers, but they're going to be losing an outstanding quarterback in Anthony Munoz, who is a record-setting quarterback, and I'm not going to pick against him because if I pick against them and I'm wrong, they'll be hitting up my cell phone.
Dan Albano, this is the Western Pioneers. Why'd you pick Beaumont? Let's go!
One of the best stories in Orange County, and Davidson, he is dueling our friend Jaime Ortiz at San Clemente for OC Coach of the Year.
Maybe a win could sway that vote. We will see. Steve, your final thoughts before we sign off?
Well, I agree with Dan. I think, again, we're talking about Corona Del Mar in that passing game, giving them an advantage. You can throw the ball like Western does. You have comeback capability, and it's really hard for a team that doesn't see a lot of that passing game how to prepare for that in practice.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. We'll be all over the CIF Southern Section Finals this weekend. And when you see us, just wave. And maybe, would you rather have a wave, a handshake, or a selfie, Steve?
Just a little fist bump, and we're good to go.
Oh, fist bump. You, Dan?
I'll take some. Just read our stories online.
Man, company man.
That's all you.
Yes.
Simply read our stories.
I was as smart as Dan Albano. I'd like to be as smart as Dan.
And I'll take cash. All right, guys. We're signing off.